And as we come to you for the Jetta Sprint, we welcome you back Sunday afternoon racing here at Inters Racing League for the Fast Boys for Tier 1. And it's going to be a bit of a chaos race, I can imagine, after what we saw yesterday afternoon with Tier 2. But nevertheless, it should be a fascinating battle. Can Websy reclaim that top spot with the win, or can Meowsy pick up yet another dominating win? We'll wait and see. Scotty here with you back in the comms box. Been a while for Tier 1, but definitely much so looking forward to this one, and I am not alone. I've got the Ferrari TP, I've got the Tier 2 Championship leader, I've got Mr. Battlecat. Battlecat, how are you on this lovely Sunday afternoon?
Doing well. Not as lovely where I am here. It's a bit overcast, but yeah, good to be in the comms seat looking at the fast drivers here tonight in Saudi. It's a sprint round, so we've got a little bit of extra racing and qualifying, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, and as for those that didn't join us last night, we'll have a very short 12-minute quality session, then a 9-lap sprint, no pit stops. Then we'll go back into normal qualifying, 18 minutes, and then we'll have 25 laps around this Jetta 27 corner circuit. But should be definitely interesting. Battlecat, obviously, I think you did pinch a podium last night, I believe. How did you find driving this circuit last night?
Yeah, this one's pretty unique. It's nice and fast. I don't mind Saudi, but it's a bit of luck that's needed for drivers. You just really need to be keeping it clean. And, you know, a car could spin in front of you and all of a sudden you just hit them and you lose it. So bit of luck, bit of patience, and you just finish. So I think that's what you need to do.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, surprisingly, we're already a third through this 19-round season, as everybody can see on your screen. And first sprint of the season, we've got Imola coming up in a few weeks' time, and then obviously all the way to Qatar for our second last round for our third sprint. But yeah, Jeddah, definitely an interesting track. Obviously, fastest street circuit, as they say. So it should be very interesting to see. We'll head to our lineup very quickly, and you can see the names there. Obviously, a few changes we've seen throughout the season. Unfortunately, Blicky, unfortunately, having to step back. Frosty having to take a step back as well. But we've got the likes of Farmer Sam stepping up in the Aston Martin. Source Cesti, I think. Apologies for butchering the name, but okay, you might have a better pronunciation than what I did.
Saw City.
Saucity, that's
Saw City is Saws, I don't know, something like that.
Definitely pronounced it a hell of a lot better than what I did, but yeah, it's definitely still a definitely a strong lineup. Obviously, Websy leading the McLaren charge, Meowsy, Dodger also leading the Ferrari charge, and yeah, definitely some quick names in that lineup. We'll have a look at our last round, which was Monaco. And as you can see, Meowsy winning by 32 seconds and pretty much lapped all the field up until P4. So only 4 cars finishing on the lead lap. Monaco, I think we had a couple of ESCs, no safety cars, but Meowsy was absolutely dominating, and I've seen his time trial time as well. So I think Battlecat, you'd be just loving the pace Meowsy's got around a few of these street circuits.
Yeah, he definitely loved Monaco. I think that's one of his favourite tracks. So hopefully the walls really give him some comfort, and he can do the same thing here in Saudi.
Exactly right. Mertz picked up the driver of the day. He moved up 7 spots. He was able to keep it clean. Websy did mitigate the damage a little bit by picking up the fastest lap with the late pit stop with a 109.117. And Saucy, I can most certainly get behind. So thankfully, that will be a lot easier name. So appreciate that comment there. And hopefully you do well. Obviously missing last week, unfortunately, so I actually took your spot. So hopefully you can get a really, really nice result. I was actually looking at the results previously, and you actually picked up a podium already this season. So looking to see how Saucy does go in the Haas as we look to our driver standings. Websy leads by still a healthy margin, but Meowsy, the last couple of rounds, he's done actually quite nicely, picking up his second win at Monaco. And Finn's just having a couple of struggle races, unfortunately, so he's dropped down into P3 in the standings. Yusuf and Checkered Flag doing very well for the RBs, constantly in the the good points and currently P4 and P5 in the standings. Looking at our constructors now, McLaren only has that short 13-point buffer over said Racing Bulls. Racing Bulls haven't quite had that top step, but it's their consistency that's really getting them right up there, and Williams dropping a couple of positions, unfortunately, due to their poor Monaco, and moving them down into P3. Overall constructors now, it is the Battle Cats team. It is Ferrari with a 60-point lead coming into this week. Obviously, Tier 3, the feature race unfortunately postponed, so not a lot of points there, and Battle Cat scoring good points last night, so that margin you'd have a feel it would be around about the same, maybe slightly better for Ferrari, so we'll wait to see what they can do tonight. And just quick info about the Jeddah circuit. We're using the C2, the C3 and the C4 tyres. Around the 6.174 kilometre circuit, 25 laps will be your feature, 9 laps will be your sprint. Lap record was a 130.734 by Lewis Hamilton in 2021. You can see tyre wear can be a bit of an issue, especially in that tight and twisty first sector. But then obviously the track opens up and then you get to put the pedal to the metal with the 2-3 DRS straight. So plenty of overtaking action we've seen in the past couple of nights and should be again tonight. But I think that's enough waffling for myself. Battlecat, you ready to see some qualifying?
Yep, let's go. The drivers are just starting to pull out of their garages, so ready to see what they can do.
All right, so as we load into the session, so 11 minutes. So a reminder, there's 6 minutes taken off, and I believe from yesterday, the drivers only have access to one soft and one medium compound of tyre. So you'll find, as you can see with Saucy out on the intermediate tyres, you'll find that maybe a lot of the guys just wanting to set a bit of a banker will either go that medium or that inter, and then we'll save that soft tyre for the end of the session. I know Battlecat yesterday, just sprint qualifying, you're just struggling to find the grip. So that grip will go over the course of the simulated weekend, but very tricky conditions was sprint qualifying yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not the best at qualifying. I think I qualified 10th in the sprint qualifying, and then in the actual qualifying, I think I did 6th, and I improved my time. So, not sure if that was track evolution or just getting some constant laps together. But yeah, I think what I did was I just held off. I just waited to the last few minutes to go out. Just use one set of tyre in each session. Made sure that I went into the race with a few set of options for tyres. So we see a lot of guys out there on mediums. It looks like they're just burning a set of mediums, which really, I think it's a good idea if they want to set a banker. But I think some of these drivers will come in, put it on a set of softs and go for a fast one.
Exactly right. As we'll follow Aiden Williams through in the Haas on their opening outlap. So coming through turns 1, 2 at the moment. So very important to get those coming up into turn number 4. Very easy to hit the inside wall, and then you come into that tricky section, turn 5, then left. It's pretty much nearly flat out through here, as you can see. Aiden just carrying as much speed. Got to be a little bit careful of the curves because they can sort of skateboard underneath, and said you're just straight on. But good line shown by Aiden as you come to the turn 13 hairpin now. A couple of different lines you can take through there, but it's looking very strong as we come up through probably my nastiest corner, turn 15, 16, 17. Just never been able to take that corner properly.
Yep. Agreed.
But, yeah, sorry, Battlecat.
Yeah, I know, same for me. Hate it. Worst corner on the track.
Yeah, really struggled with the DRS. Now, as the track opens up for the second half lap, turns 22 and 23, the quick kink of turn 24, DRS once again, 25 and 26 arcs pretty much flat out. So I really only think there's like 13 corners that are pretty much braking opportunities, but 27 is the final corner that you do have to brake. All important to get the traction out of the final corner, especially in a race simulation. But final bit of DRS for Aiden coming across the line, and that is a 28.301 for the first run on the set of medium compounder tyres, as Silk Hill crosses the line just behind on a 28.920. And I believe pole last night was a 28.49. No, 28.4, and that Was that on softs or surely that was on softs?
That was on softs. That was on softs, yeah. So you can see that the pace is already there with these T1 boys, medium tyres, and it's already beaten yesterday's time by nearly 2/10.
Yeah, and I've already seen on my little cheat sheet that a couple of drivers got front wing damage, so this track's already catching a couple of the drivers out, which does not surprise me whatsoever. We haven't seen any DNFs as well. Got 19 drivers in, so we are missing someone, unfortunately. I will try and have a
I think it
look.
was a Red Bull, if I'm not mistaken. There was a reserve set, but I don't think they joined.
So unfortunate for the Red Bull, so it's going to be all on Apollo, and hopefully their net is fairly stable. I know Apollo, he's had some pace, he's just been really unfortunate with the disconnects, so hopefully he can have a good one tonight. K5 was said driver that had a bit of front wing damage. You can see the right end plate gone, and it is Cam.
Kalex.
Where is Cam? I think that is
Your favourite corner.
Yeah, turn. Oh, no, that's turn 4. So we just missed it, unfortunately. But we lost a few drivers last night due to that turn 4, and it's just so easy just trying to carry the speed, and you just cut that inside corner into the wall. And Cam, I was sort of hoping for a good one for him. He was very unlucky in Monaco, having a couple of incidents later on in the race. He did actually get penalised for the start, the opening lap incident as well. But having a bit of a shocker at the moment, Cam. So hopefully he does well. Thankfully, it's only sprint qualifying. And only 9 laps, only the top 8, remember, score points in the sprint race. 8 points for the winner, down to 1 point for 8. So if you're going to have a crash, you'd rather have it in the sprint qualifying.
Jammy. Yeah,
So,
27.9. Amazing.
And that
is
yeah, and amazingly, it is on the medium tyres as well. So these guys are quick.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, bloody hell. It'd be nice to have these guys pace, but a few drivers switching over to the soft compound already. And I think we've got one of the Mercedes. There we go. We've got KLX, who's, I think, just starting to run. He doesn't block the acid behind, I think potentially is coming into the pits now. So KLX.
Yeah, I was going to say with KLX, you're right. If you're gonna bin it, now's the time to bin it in the sprint. You're going to be starting from the back, but get your eye into the track and do it all again for the feature.
And I think looking at the reserves, I think it is Grandson Nips. It is Sir Joshi, if I'm pronouncing that correct. I think they're the 2 reserves, and we did have a...
I think we had...
actually, it was Sir Joshi who was originally Red Bull, but he's actually the Sauber, so there's been a swap.
Okay, we'll change that around. We'll change that around at the end then. So yeah, we did a late change for Red Bull. So Sir Joshi's points will go to Red Bull. I'll fix that up once we crunch the numbers. So
yeah. All right. So just to clarify, so those points will go. So only one Sauber technically in tonight's Sir Joshi scoring points for Red Bull. We'll go back onto KLX. He's up by 6.6 seconds, but that was definitely not a best lap of 48.2, not 49. But he's coming through the final sector now. Just has one corner left.
He's going to run out of DRS, I think. Oh no, he's getting some back.
As we can sort of see with the onboard, it's very important. I know I found it a little bit challenging last night just to try and manage ERS through the entire lap, as he does go into the top 4 on a 28.525. And yeah, you either use it too much in the first part of the lap, or you save too much in the first part and have too much at the end. So it's definitely something to manage, and the sprint quality definitely helped in terms of how I was using it for the full distance, for the full quality. So something that the guys can definitely keep an eye on. Saucy up into the top 6. So both passes in the top 6, both RBs in the top 8. So Nip's doing quite well, obviously. Checkered flag, unfortunately, missing tonight. I think he was potentially going to, but unfortunately Virgin's decided to cancel a couple of his flights. So unfortunately he's stuck away, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll see him back next time out. As we've got one of the Red Bulls, I believe. Yes, it is Apollo on an out lap.
Yeah, we've got Finns, I think, finishing off a lap. So he did set a purple, but this game that doesn't really mean anything at the moment. So see what Finn's can do. He's currently in 17th, hasn't set a time yet. So we know he's pretty quick. Expect him to be the pointy end of the field.
As we'll cross the
There you go,
line,
P4.
top 4. And I think Finns will be trying to look for a good race. He got caught up in Monaco, and he just hasn't quite had the run of form or sort of the consistency at the moment compared to Websy, who I think has been on the podium 5 times, I believe, out of the first 6 rounds.
Yeah.
So that's what Websy needs. Yeah, he's quick, but he's been keeping it out of trouble. And we saw that last week that he got involved in a lot of traffic, but he didn't do anything too aggressive. And as long as with a big lead that he's got, he just has to bring the points home, and then he can just manage it from there. But Websy, obviously, as we said, not too bad if he sort of has a bit of a poor one, because again, only 8 points on offer for the sprint. But we'll wait and see what Websy can do. But everybody out on the soft compounded tyres except for Finns. So Finns, I don't think he'll be in a little bit of trouble, being that he's out of sync now.
Yeah, Finns has attended 6 races, but he's had 1 DNF, 2 podiums, whereas Websy's had 5 podiums. Meowsy's had 3 podiums, but he's only attended 5 races. So it's pretty close there. Like you said, I think Websy came second last week. So, there's not a huge difference between P1 and P2 in terms of points with our point system. So, finishing, getting the pointy end is really important. What are you saying, Scotty?
Oh, that was a bit of lag. I thought Shorty was about to bin it at turn 15 and 16, but I think it was more so lag that was doing that. Car was sliding all over the shop. We'll stay on board. It just may not be a representative line that he'd be taking, as Apollo has retired in the pits, I believe. So a few of the guys not getting times in. You can see we've only got 12 drivers yet to have a time on the board. So clearly, these guys know that this isn't the quality that they sort of need to really concentrate on. So again, only
Really
top 8.
Interesting that he didn't set a lap though. Like, he didn't crash. He retired in the pits and not set a lap. So I'm not sure what's going on there, unless he had a problem.
Yeah, interesting.
I might check the chat to see if he's got an issue or something.
Oh, as Tyler goes
disconnect.
Yeah, Tyler goes into the top 2. So that's Tyler showing some good pace. As we got one of the Mercs, I think that's Aussie. Aussie just needs to set a representative lap time, and he'll actually find himself in a good spot for sprint quali. That there could always be a couple of points on offer. He does stay P12, but did find a couple of seconds. As Aiden goes 27.592.
Amazing.
That's a quick lap, but on board with Dodge. He's 4/10 up coming through the final corner. He might have been slightly up further. Crosses the line and goes 27.423. Dodge takes provisional pole at the moment. Oh, and there's contact between a RB and an Alpine. That was Yusuf, and Yusuf picks up the 5-place grid penalty. So not sure if there was a bit of miscommunication in terms of who was on a lap, who wasn't, but that's going to hurt Yusuf's position in the sprint, and potentially more on offer as Websy goes 27.3. Only 2/10 covering the top 3 drivers at the moment. I think we've got a Sauber coming around the final corner. That Seal Pill up slightly on their lap time. We'll try and get themselves. They only need to find a little bit of time to jump themselves up a few spots, but unfortunately drops 2/10 coming in that final sector. And the RB is in pit lane, so it's going to be the Aston Martin of Tyler only. And Tyler's down, so that is your sprint quali done. Excuse me, it is Websy and Meowsy or Dodge on the front row, Haas and Alpine on your second row. Tyler, Yusuf, obviously he'll drop, unfortunately, down to P11 after that 5-place grid penalty. We'll wait and see sort of what happened there in terms of, actually Buster's just saying in the chat that K5 got blocked, so Yusuf may not have been on a hot lap, so that will hurt and potential loss points coming their way. But solid lap from Websy. It's Websy and Dodge as well, but at least Aiden, unfortunately Aiden missed last week, but he's right in the hunt between these two, and they actually had a good 6/10 gap compared to WRC, Tyler and co.
Yeah, that's a good sign in there from Broseph as well. So Aiden's definitely rapid. Nice to see these guys at the front. I was just going to have a chat, Scotty, and just talk about KLX. So KLX is our previous championship winner. He's P2 a number of times behind Prince, and no, he's been away and hasn't really had a lot of a preseason with this game, but he's just not at the pointy end with these other guys. So, any insights there? What's happening? Is the game's not liking him, or he's not liking the game?
Not
Just a
100%
bit of
sure.
surprise.
It would not surprise me. We've seen a few very quick guys sort of just drop off this season, whether it's just because they're not loving the game, not loving the driving handling. We know sort of, obviously Frosty's taken a little bit of a step back. I know some tier 3 and tier 2 boys that have taken a step back from the game as well. So I think it's just, if this doesn't, if you're say a tier 1 driver, if this game doesn't suit you and you're not putting the time into it, you can drop off rather quickly. And yeah, it's just unfortunate. KLX is one of those drivers. As we see our results, Websy, Jamie, Aiden, Riz WRC, that's actually a nice position P4 at the moment from them. Tyler, Yusuf go with the 5 place drop. Farmer Sam, Finns, KLX, and Steelpill rounds out our top 10. Saucy, Grandson Nips, Sir Joshi, Aussie, Shawnee, Liquid Jake were our time setters, and then K5 with that crash, Cam and Apollo not setting any lap times either. So as we load into sprint quali, so definitely some quicker guys at the back. So definitely look forward to them potentially charging their way through this sprint. But we saw the tier 2 sprint was a fair bit chaotic. I think one word is that would be a good word for it.
Yeah, this place is usually pretty chaotic. I think it's turn 1, 2 you have to watch, but I find it's turn 3 that that catches people out, and you find that people try to go side by side, and it just causes carnage. So that's going to be where I've got my eye on for the start of the race. As the drivers set up their strategy, we'll notice that the sun is shining. So this is a sprint race, it is during the daytime. The next qualifying session and feature race will be at night.
Did the daylights put you off yesterday afternoon? I didn't necessarily bother me too much, but maybe if you're not racing without line on, maybe that might be a different story.
Yeah, I thought it would, but I don't think it did. After a lap or so, it was just pretty much robotic mode. So they're about to get off here. We've got 5 lights, and away they go. Well, I think the Ferrari had a poor start. The Alpine behind had a great start. It's gone for the inside. Oh, 3 wide. They've made contact. Oh, and there's a few cars there.
So causing issues once again, and unfortunately that's Aiden that's got front wing damage. Looking further back, can we at least make it through turn 4 cleanly? Oh, there's contact as well, and then the RB's around. And I think it's Nips. So scroll further forward, a few of these drivers might have damage, so we might see a little bit of difference in pace, but Websy getting a nice jump from pole. Aiden and Riz WRC dropping back. He might be someone that might have a little bit of damage, unfortunately.
I see that Aiden the Haas has got some damage, so
yeah. That's the Sauber of Steelpill chucking that, as I think Liquid Jake's had a spin. Yeah, he's slowed, so he's had a half spin off the exit of 15. So plenty of carnage in this opening lap, and we saw just quickly on the Alpine where I can find him. You can see the left side of his front wing is pretty much gone and dusted, so he'll have to come in for a brand new front wing. We saw plenty of guys having to actually come in for a pit stop to change for damage, as I think we've got Aiden, who is struggling. You can see the the right side end plate gone. As how many do we see in the pit lane? KLX has dropped that couple of spots, having the 4 rigs out of the final corner. So Aiden stays out. Honestly, I think if you can suffer through the first sector, it's not too bad to stay out due to wing damage, especially because you lose 30 seconds. And because it is such a short race, being only 9 laps, it may be worthwhile to stay out if the damage isn't too bad. But we do have... I think that was
a McLaren.
Yeah, Shawnee. Down in P17, Nips 18. Riz was the lone driver to come into the pits, obviously, that damage was probably way too much. So I had to come in. So obviously only the top 8 remember scoring points, so we'll need a lot to go his way to get back in. The safety car now would be good, but we didn't actually see any safety cars in Tier 2 yesterday either. Should have actually seen a couple, but we didn't actually get them in the end, so we'll wait and see if that's sort of just the nature of sort of the sprint being on reduced safety cars. They don't like to throw them, I don't know.
Yeah, I think safety cars are on reduced, damage is on standard, but yeah, we had a few VSCs, but yeah, it didn't really come into play. I think in the feature there was a couple towards the end. Just confirming, everyone's on medium tyres as you would expect. Chilpill's made up 4 positions. Yusuf's made up 4. Aiden's the biggest loser. He's lost 3 positions. So up the front there, yeah, there's a few people that made some positions. So McJammy's going to make. It looks like he's going to make the move. No, he decides to stay back for now.
Yeah, well off, but we were nearly 3 wide as Sealpill got the move done at the final corner, but then lost 2 positions just because he didn't have any DRS. So there's going to be a little bit of DRS chicken in terms of whether you want to make the move into the final corner or just sit behind a little bit and actually get him at turn 1. That's probably your best bet, just with the nature of the 2 DRS zones. Yeah, if you make the move the last corner, more than likely.
Oh, and his Fins is.
Oh, he's got to be careful.
Yeah,
he's got to be careful about the rejoin.
Back. Yeah, he's going to have to wait for everyone to join.
Thankfully, he did manage to avoid everybody, but we saw a couple.
Wings damage.
Yeah, we saw a couple of drivers bit it there.
Oh, what's happened there?
I think
Short had a huge lag.
Yeah,
huge lag there.
But I still think, yeah. So either he's hit Finn's car or he's had a moment off the curb, but with the lag that he had, it just looked like he hit into an invisible wall. So
yeah, just the car disintegrated. So looked like is it Kubica down the straight, or was it? I don't know who it was, but yeah, the car just fell apart. So yeah, I think that's a bit of lag.
Yeah, really unfortunate.
Yep.
Meanwhile, we're on board with the Ferrari driver of Dodge, Meowsy, coming through. We've got Kalex making the move on Chilpill. We'll actually go back to that battle. Oh, as we're nearly seeing 3 wide at the final corner. Good thing I did go back to this battle. We've got Mercedes, we've got Sauber, we've got both Haas's in there. Dodge did take the lead, but I don't want to sort of take my eye off this battle for P5.
Oh my God.
I'm waiting to see absolute carnage. It's going to be, I think, Kalex who leads that. Sauber tries to go around the outside. He does. Aiden, remember, is still carrying wing damage, and I think that's just slowed him down a little bit as he's got his teammate of Saucy right behind. But the Sauber, Sir Joshi, trying to stick the nose up the inside. Sealfield picks up a 3-second time penalty as we ride on board with the Sauber, and Vince has retired in pit lane. So his week after Monaco's not getting any better as he comes into the pit lane, as these guys have eventually sorted themselves out, but it's bringing the guys behind back into this battle for P5. Sealpill at the moment, that 3 seconds will hurt him massively come the end of this one. We've only got 5 racing laps left to go, being that it is such a short race. But Sauber and Haas both fighting for those last few points. Saucy currently missing out at the moment, but Aiden, I think, is the one that's just struggling to see without with the wing damage, and just not able to carry the speed through the corners. And on board with the Sauber, Sir Joshi should easily get the move done. Right in the toe. Aiden did get there.
He's Red Bull driver there, so yep, he's wearing the Red Bull livery for today. But yeah, there's a huge fight there from what is it, P6 down to down to 13 or something. So
this is going to end 3 wide. I think Aiden was smart. He covered the right side, and yeah, I think Aiden's just really struggling with that damage. So he's tried to stay out. Might not have been probably the better call, being that Riz is still 16 seconds off the back of this train. So it's better for him to stay out. He's sort of hoping people pick up penalties, but he's really struggling to keep hold of the guys in front, and no DRS down in that final sector is really hurting. But we'll wait and see what Saucy can do alongside Sir Joshi to see if they can catch back up to Sealpill and KLX. We'll head back up the front. Yusuf sort of by himself a little bit. He's got 2 seconds behind. He's got 4.5 seconds in front. Unable to keep pace with the top 3. Tyler doing a very nice job that he might be able to capitalise. Might just be sitting there, just saving a bit of battery and just waiting to see how the top 2 go. Websy in P2. Interesting to see if they go for a move, but these guys aren't sort of battling too hard. They're just making the moves if they got way too much overspeed.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the battery usage for the drivers there. They are definitely being smart about their battery usage. So all three of them, they're all in great position, and I think they're just being a bit strategic here. You know, maybe passing if they need to, but staying definitely close to each other. And I think you'll see them all fight on the last lap or so.
Yeah, and Websy goes down the inside of McDodge. So yeah, that's it's an interesting thing to obviously try and strategize. We heard the lift that Websy had out of the last corner, or before the last corner. He easily just didn't want to make the overtake at the last corner. But it will be interesting to see who wants to be the second car in the train come the final lap. But Websy just getting a little bit on the throttle. Broke about half a second, but as I said, I think Dodge has got this well in control, as Tyler as well, just sitting back. Further back, this train's just calmed down just a little bit, but you can see from 5th all the way down to P12, all in a DRS train, and that makes it difficult for the guys further behind to sort of actually make any progress through this field.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to win this race. Any one of those three at the front there could win it. So just having a look a little bit behind just to see again. I see lots of green and black and white and black with the Hasses and Saubers. So they're 2x2 there. Chillpill seems to be leading. Sorry, KLX seems to be leading that. And Farmer Sam has retired. Where was that?
That's our favourite corner, turn 15 and 16.
Corner.
So obviously having a moment, as you can just see on the inside. So maybe just turned in a little bit too much for the initial right-hander. So unfortunately that is Farmer Sam out. But again, he was down in P14, so was not in any point scoring position. So as I said, you can sort of get away with this is the race you want that to not score any. As we're riding on board with KLX, stuck in this second train. I think Shieldfield made the move for that P5, but once we get to the final lap, I have a feeling this is going to get real scrappy.
Yeah, and Chillpill's got a 3-second penalty as well, so I'm not sure what happened there, how he picked it up, whether he might be able to get that removed or not, but I feel this P5 down is going to be really scary. I think Goat in front and P4 is probably going to secure P4, and then any one of those three at the front, as long as they finish, they'll get points. So it's not a huge difference in points, so you know I wouldn't be sending it for P1 versus P3 to tell you the truth. It's I think it's like 8 points versus 6. Not a huge amount.
Yeah, exactly. As Dodge covers the inside line, coming into the final corner, but able to take the racing line. If you're Tyler from here, being that we're lap 7 to 9, do you try and actually take second place regardless of who it is on this next lap, so he can then have a chance at the final tour getting past the leader, because he can't do much third in train?
P3 is not bad, I think. I think P3 down the final second last straight, see if you can get into P2 or stick behind, and then just push it.
Saucy down around the outside, down the inside. We're going to go three wide off the exit. There was a bit of Sauber and plate corn, and not sure which one it is, but it's KLX that retakes P5. We were nearly side by side through turn 4, which never works, but we've sorted ourselves out. So positions have swapped. Sealpill was actually leading this train. He's back down to P8. And he's only scoring 1 point, but then again, that penalty,
see some damage for him as well.
Yeah, and I think he was the one. Yeah, he was the one that picked up the wing damage as Sir Joshi cuts the chicane, or goes wide out of the left-hander. So that would be a little bit of a moment, and I think Saucy went a little bit close to the wall. So plenty happening in this battle. So there's two main factors we're watching: battle for the lead and battle for P5. KLX currently holding a half-second lead over the guys behind. Few drivers in that battle pack have damage. We get the lovely aerial shot. You can see the field from P5 all the way down into P12. Apollo bringing up the rear. Battle at the front. Websy retakes the lead.
Yeah, not sure if McJamie slowed down there, if that was a genuine pass, but might just get him back again.
He's having a moment at the hairpins, so nothing to do with our current battles. as Websy will take the lead going into the final lap, but I don't know if that's the place you want to be unless he's got a ton of pace in this first sector. Further down, Saucy holds P5 side by side between Joshy and KLX. The Sauber trying to stick the nose up the inside, doesn't have the traction. Further back, we've got Apollo and Aiden. Aiden still carrying that damage from lap 1. Apollo down the inside, and then Apollo, I think Apollo locked the rears up and just had a spin, and that takes out Aiden. I think K5 just managed to avoid getting damage, but these guys are pretty much going to be out of points paying range. Aussie might get seal pill. We'll just have to keep an eye on that, but we'll head back to the race lead because we've got half a lap left to go. Websy leads. Jamie in P2, Tyler in P3. So on board with the Ferrari, it will be McLaren v Ferrari. When does Dodge make the move? Surely he has to have the move done down at the last corner, but it is a decent shot to the line.
Yeah, I think Websy's going to try to conserve. Yeah, he's got it through. He's got the pass. Oh, no, it's side by side.
As the inside line, who has the better traction? Someone
Who
will
has
have
it? Give me a better view.
DRS.
Oh, it's to the line. Oh, I think Websy got it.
Websy does get it.
How close? 0.029.
Bugger
that
all.
was a great
We'll quickly
fight.
head back. Saucy holding P5, and he will just do that. KLX P6, Sajoshi in P7. Aussie will get that final point in the sprint. Chilpil unfortunately dropping all the way down into P11. And Aiden missing out, K5 missing out, Apollo with that moment on the last lap. Unfortunately dropping down to P12. Liquid Jake will bring it home in 13th. Grand Submix in 14th. Cam will finish home in 15th place. And Riz will bring it home in 16th. But great battle at the end from Websy taking the inside line. He just gave the Ferrari just a little bit of not necessarily a squeeze, but he definitely made sure that his foot was planted, and I think Websy was the one that did actually get DRS, because they were definitely side by side. So I just wasn't sure which car actually got DRS coming across the line.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember, but it was a great race. Like I said, there's not a lot of points in it. I thought Tyler might have got him, but yeah, Websy and Meowsy, great race there.
Yeah, so Saucy gets the game's driver of the day, finishing P5. But Websy, Jeremy, Tyler, your top three, all scoring 8, 7, and 6 points respectively. Yusuf in P4, Saucy, as I said, P5, KLX in P6, Sir Joshi in P7, and Aussie picking up our final point in the sprint, P8, K5 in 9th, Aiden rounding out our top 10, Chill Pill, Apollo, Liquid Jake, Ransom Nips, Cam, and Riz WRC, our finishers, and then our 3 DNFs, Farmer Sam, Fins, and Shawnee, rounding out our 19 car field.
Yes, I think the stewards might be a little bit busy there. There were a few incidents, a few cars spinning around. Who knows if they'll end up reporting more than I did yesterday, but we'll see. But now we head back into short qualifying. So this is what we're used to. It's a 18-minute qualifying session, 18 or 15 or whatever.
18.
Usual qualifying session. And it is dark and it is nighttime. Then they'll head into a feature race based upon the qualifying positions.
Exactly right, but it definitely gives us a bit of a breather because that was definitely action packed. So yeah, definitely good to have a bit of a breather. Fastest lap in the sprint was Fins, but obviously no points for fastest lap altogether. But there will be a point on offer for the feature if you finish inside the top 10. Thank you everyone for joining us on this Sunday afternoon of Tier 1 Inters action. Very much appreciate your company, Scotty and the cat in the comms box. So we've had a short quali, a sprint quali, a sprint race. Now we're on to our main attraction, short qualifying, and our 25 lap race for Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, as Shawnee unfortunately left the session. So we'll try and get him an invite back in.
I'll try to do that. Yep.
So 2 soft tyres and a medium tyre is on offer for these guys in short qualifying due to the sprint format. So it'd be interesting to see if someone decides to save a set of softs. think sort of with the nature and sort of how close we saw qualifying last night, a lot of guys yesterday had to burn both sets of softs. So when we did have a late safety car, I don't think anyone was really on a new set of softs. So we'll see if that makes any difference in T1, as we've got K5 out on a set of soft compounder tyres. You can see a couple of guys on the mediums doing their first runs, and we saw a 27.3 for pole position in sprint quali. We saw about I think about a 6/10 improvement from sprint quali to the main quali, I believe, in tier 2. So 26, high 26s, we're looking like potentially pole position tonight.
Yeah, just having a look for Shawnee. I can't actually see him in my EA list, so great invite system EA.
Yeah, it's always lovely. So unfortunately, one of the things that they haven't fixed, but then again, there's a lot of other things that they'd fix, like joining a session after you disconnect and it doesn't retire the car on you. That'd be nice, because yes, a few of us have definitely been affected by that. But we'll follow KLX in the Mercedes, I should say, on their first run on the mediums. So KLX unfortunately missing out of sprint points. As I quickly switch over to the other thing on my Racing League tools. There we go. So getting a little bit close to the wall on the exit of turn 2, but manages that nicely. As we come through... Oh, has he backed off? No, he's still going. So coming through the middle part of Sector 1, very tricky. That if you've got high wings, that's nice to take, but the setup I know I used yesterday, you need straight line speed down the rest of the track, and unfortunately that's sort of an area that I really struggled yesterday. Thankfully everyone else sort of bit into the wall or decided to crash into each other, so I was very thankful of that. But we did see a little bit of carnage in that middle part, as really a couple of yellows. All still good as we still follow KLX through, as we'll get the lap data up so we can see how they go on sector times. So coming through turns 22, 23 now, you might actually get a little bit of a toe.
Yeah, that's his teammate too, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is.
Very well done.
Aussie KLX working well together. It's definitely a nice toe right on board.
Yeah, he might get double toe.
He backed out of it. K5 sets the 28.1 on the soft compounder tyres. Can KLX find that time better?
His deploy's used.
That hurts. I know that you can easily drop 0.3 of a second as Aiden goes first one into the 27, 27.9. But again, we're about 0.6 off at the moment where we were in sprint quali. So definitely time to improve. There's a lot of guys sitting in pit lane. So with this longer session, only 2 sets of softs for everybody. Clearly not wanting to come out early, as Grandson picks a 29.4 for their first lap. Vince is currently about to start a lap. How's Websy going? We'll watch on board. We didn't see much of Websy in short quality, and he put it on pole. So we'll ride on board, see how quick that he comes through the first sector, and that car looks to be on rails. As we come into turn 13, the hairpin 31.8 for the first sector. So round turn 13. And I think he's actually... Well, we can see that light flashing, but he's still going. As we come through a little bit of a wash wide. So that will hurt a little bit of track time, or lap time I should say. But here's where the DRS is inactivated. His teammate rejoins the session. As we'll see how does he go. He carries a ton of speed through 23, 24. He's sliding that car, but he's looking quick at the moment. As he's got one final straight left, but you can see at the bottom of your screen, he hasn't got a lot of ARS to play with yet. As he rounds the final corner. Good traction out of it.
I want to bring up the telemetry, Scotty. We could probably bring that up during the...
Yeah, during quality we can bring it up, I suppose. Across the line, he goes 27.4, about half a tenth of what he did in sprint quali. So that's a solid banker lap time. As we see one of the Saubers coming out of the pit lane. So great lap. Dodge went straight to an inter. So the 2 quickest guys in the sprint race doing different strategies in terms of this opening period of quali. One going in the soft tyres, getting his banker straight out, whereas Dodge just wanting to get an inter-run. But considering that inter-run is 31.9 and he's only 4 seconds off, would have been an interesting inter-lap. But he'll come into the pits. He'll have potentially 2 runs. I don't know if you've sort of talked to your drivers in terms of whether or not to save a set of softs or not. But Dodge is into the pits now.
Yeah, he's probably giving me advice rather than me giving him advice. So, yeah, he knows what he's doing. Tyler's on a hot lap if you want to sit on with him.
Yeah, so just switch him, 32.1, so about 3/10 down on Websy in the first sector. As he makes his way through turn 13. Coming up the hill, it's a curvy track, this one, but a lot of it is flat out. I think it's about 70% flat out, I believe, from memory. So it is a very, very quick circuit. And if you're confident, if you get your lines right through these quick corners, as we ride on board, looked a little bit smoother than what Websy did through 23, but the question is, was it quicker? As we'll get the last little bit of DRS down into turn 27 in the final corner. He's definitely got more ARS to play with coming out of the final, so he'll be able to just juice it to the line. And he does just that. DRS, he tries to make the line straight. 28.443, so about a second off actually. So it was smooth, but it was definitely not quicker. Polo in P8. Finns has gone P5 on those medium tyres, but Websy at the moment still half a second clear of the field out front.
I think Goat's the next one who is just started his flyer.
I think it's Chilpel actually. So we're right on board. He's about 30 seconds up the road.
Yep.
So we'll go back to Yusuf, because Yusuf sort of had a bit of a lonely race actually after he got in that P4. He sort of by himself, didn't have the pace of the top 3 and kept the guys behind at bay. So we'll see what Yusuf could do, get a bit of a better lap time on the board, as Chilpel just warming up the tyres, so not on a run. Battlecat, did you do a double warm-up lap, or did you just go pretty much out lap, shoot, cool down, shoot?
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, out flyer, cool down flyer. Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's just sort of interesting in terms of just making sure you get the tyres in the window. That looked a quicker turn 22 and 23 from Yusuf as we ride on board with the RB. And he's got a little bit of traffic. Probably didn't like that because he might have taken a bit of a narrower line through 25. But rounding the final corner, he's actually going to get a lovely tow from Aussie. I think it's Aussie, or it's one of the Mercs. Problem is his deployment's used, so he does jump up into P2, but he had no deployment out of the final corner, so the tow would have helped a little bit, but wasn't able to maximise the last corner exit. But still 4.5 tenths behind Websy. That was a great lap from Websy. Just waiting to see what your driver does in Dodge.
I think he's out at the moment, so he's started his flyer.
We'll follow the Ferrari through the first sector at least. Coming through, and I believe Dodge had a 26.4, I think, in quali. He does a 31.9, so I think he matches Websy in the first sector, or I think about half a tenth off. So solid in the first sector. As yellow flags up ahead, he's got a RB that gets out of the way. See if that puts him off. So now the quicker part of the circuit. So our second place from the sprint. Dodge just needs to eat into that championship lead of Websy. He did a good job last week. Problem is, Websy and Dodge are just sort of 2 miles out in front of everyone else, and Websy can just take it easy as we come into the final corner for Dodge. Rounding the final corner, Haas coming in out of the way. So can Dodge pit pole position from Websy at the moment? Crosses the line, and no, it's 3.5 tenths down. So that's how good of a lap Websy did.
Yeah, Websy's was fast. I was looking at him sliding. Maybe that's what I need to do a bit more often. But yeah, I'm not sure if anyone can get close to Websy's time there.
How's Farmer Sand going? Purple for him in the middle sector. So low on the fuel light, as you can see, not a lot of ERS left to use. But Farmer Sand, bit of a shocker in the sprint race. So hopefully he can make his way back up. Ooh, a little bit of a slide through the final corner. Hopefully doesn't hurt him too much. Comes across the line, Farmer Sam. Only into P17, so must have made a mistake earlier on. 33.8, definitely can go quicker. Farmer Sam just struggling this afternoon.
Yeah, and his fuel light's flashing, so that's his last run there. He's going to have to come in and get either a new set of tyres and some fuel. He's got 6 minutes left. Should have enough time.
Yeah, should be right, as we have just under 6 minutes left to go in the session, as we're following Sir Joshi. So he is in the Sauber car. He's representing Red Bull. There was a last-minute change. So he's meant to be in the Red Bull. So points for Sir Joshi will go to
KLX is getting another tow from his teammate. So there's these Mercedes drivers are really setting that up really well. And KLX did have a purple sector, so he's got lots of battery.
Yeah, interesting to see what his time was out of the final corner, because it looked a little bit scruffy. He does go into P5, but it looked like it's a bit hard. You get the tow, but then it looks like Aussie going a little bit like straight on, puts him off a little bit just from looking at it. So he's right now, he's up into the top 5. Farm Sam will be coming into the pits. He's out of fuel. That's why you got the yellow flags on screen. So Aussie's in. So everybody in the pit lane about to come out for their final run. Apollo will be said car in the Red Bull. So unfortunately having a collision in the final lap of the sprint, so no points at the moment for the weekend. So he'll hope for a better lap. Very close actually between P7 and P12, only tenth and a half covering those 6-7 drivers. So plenty of spots to be gained for a lot of these drivers.
Yeah, if you can get yourself into the low 128s, I think you'll make up a lot of points, a lot of positions. But like I said, I don't know if Jamie's got it in him to improve by 3.5 tenths there, so it's going to be interesting. I think my other Ferrari driver, Cam, is about to start his flyer, so he hasn't set a time. I think this will be potentially his one and only shot, so see what he can do. He hasn't had the greatest results, but he's definitely got the right attitude, and he's had a few unlucky situations, so I'm hoping he'll get some points today and boost his spirit.
He goes very close to the wall on the outside of turn 2, so thankfully covers that down around turn number 4. So on board through the first sector now. It's pretty much one line that you want to stick on board. It wasn't too bad. Inside curve there, just upset the car a little bit. But he does go his quickest first sector at the moment. 32.3, but that's about 4 tenths off of Webbsy's first sector time. But that's sort of where a lot of the time can be found on this track. Depending on setup wise, Cam a little bit wide through 15 and 16, has a little bit of a wiggle, has a bit of a touch with the wall, no damage should be there, but will affect his speed down this long straight. It doesn't seem like a straight, but it most certainly is. With a bit of DRS, he's got one corner, he throws the car in, nearly hits the inside wall, very lucky. He does have a bit of a tow from his teammate, so he'll get that will help. As the Ferrari will get out of the way, he'll brake early. And a bit of a touch to the wall from Cam. He'll run to the line. So hopefully he puts a bit of a quicker lap in. It's only P14, unfortunately. He does give a little bit of a tow, I suppose, to Dodge. But Dodge might make this a bit of a cool-down lap, maybe. I don't know. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's pushing, I think. He's got his...
Lights on. Problem is, dirty through this section, you don't really want, so you might get a nice tow at this point. He's gone purple. He's slightly up. Problem is his teammate.
Got to get out of the way. Yeah.
This is not helping him. Cam has to get out of the way. I know they're in a chat together, so probably not the toe, and you can see the line that Dodge took through that series of corners. It wasn't great, so I have a feeling Dodge is going to be down on his time. Wait and see, but it wasn't the best. So I want to see what he's.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh,
He's up. He's up on his time.
So we'll see if he's got any time in the final sector. Obviously, want to keep an eye on Dodge because he is a contender up front. Websy on the outlap. Problem is, I don't see anybody else unless they put an absolute ripper out coming through the final corner, and that was Websy that made sure that he wasn't going to give a toe to his rival at all. DRS for the last bit of straight deployment has been used. Crosses the line. He does find that 2.5 tenths. Problem is, not enough from Websy. And he doesn't have and unfortunately he doesn't have enough time to go again, so that's Dodge. He will not be on pole position. Websy most certainly has time to do that, but will follow some of the drivers that are about to finish.
Oh, and Websy's hit the wall.
As
I don't think it's going to matter. Yep.
It's not, but I just want to keep an eye on some of these quicker guys. His car, I believe, has gone. We're following Aiden at the moment, purple in the middle sector, but he's got to find half a second. So he put in a ripper time for sprint qualifying. It was about a 27.5 from Aiden. So I'm actually surprised we haven't actually gone quicker than sprint qualifying. Actually, I was expecting we would. But Aiden around the final corner, he's got ARS to use. As we got Saucy in the back as well. Aiden crosses the line. He jumps up into the top three. Where's Saucy coming across the line? Saucy goes into the top 8, found 0.3 of a second. As I think we've got the two Alpines next to each other. We got Riz WRC.
P5, P4.
Nice.
Oh, P5.
Nice, both Alpines up into the top 5. Buster will be very happy with that. Yusuf's a 10th and a half up. He's probably the one that could match Websy. If he's got time, he's two and a bit tenths up. So this could be a front row for Yusuf if he puts the last sector together. Farmer Sam up into the top 7. How's Tyler doing? He's, I don't think, going to be improving. So one final corner.
Tyler's not.
So can Yusuf put the lap together? Can he find himself on pole position? Crosses the line now. He found 3.5 tenths, but he was about a tenth short, but that's still a good starting position for Yusuf.
Alex is, I think, the next one.
I think he is. Tyler, you can see he's out of the way, so it's going to be KLX. Does he have any more improvement on his lap? Got a bit of ERS to use, but it's going to run out again. DRS to the line. Can KLX improve his lap time? And doesn't, so stays P9. Finch crosses the line, jumps into the top 5. Nice lap time. And Shieldpill is out of the session, so that's your session done. Websy takes pole position in both sessions tonight, and actually does it on his opening lap too. Only needed one run, and that was good enough for pole position.
Yeah, I said it before, it was going to be hard to beat. He did have another flyer, and I think he just got caught off guard with McJammy in front. So and then he just tapped the wall P3, but corner 3, but it didn't make him a difference. He got P1 convincingly. So well done.
Yeah, great job from him. So Websy, Dodge, Yusuf, Aiden are your top 4. Finns K5, Riz WRC in 7. Farmer Sam, Tyler, KLX ready at your top 10. So Joshy, Apollo, Saucy, Chill Pill, Cam, Aussie, Liquid Jake, Grandson, and Shawnee are your 19 drivers. So Shawnee obviously joined the session a little bit later on, unfortunately not able to get, it was a representative lap, but didn't quite get probably the time he wanted out of it. So we'll start P19. So McLaren book ending the grid for our feature race, 25 laps. Mandatory pit stop, of course, will be required, but we had 3 VSCs and 2 full safety cars last night, I believe, or did we have 3 full safety cars last night?
Thought it was 2, but yeah.
We did a lot of time was spent under yellow. Let's just say that. But
Yeah, I think we had one in laps 14 and then another one lap 22, 21, something like that.
Yeah. But the guys will change their setups, change minimal setup changes, front wings maybe, tyre pressures, but then all important tyre strategy as well. A lot of guys starting on the mediums last night. A couple of guys went hards. Safety car sort of benefited a little bit, but yeah, definitely going to be interesting. Mediums do not feel great after about 9 laps around here, and I could even be generous about that. So we'll wait and see as we just wait for the grid to load up. It has now, so we've got 3, 4, 5 lights. Feature race at Jeddah is underway, and Websy again gets a nice start from Dodge. Aiden, hopefully there's no contact down the inside. There is not, so top 4 get away cleanly this time around. And Aiden around the outside, we're clean through the back as we go 2, 3 wide. Coming up into turn number 4, Aiden covers the inside line. He keeps P3. We are clean through the field as we have a look further back. So thankfully a little bit calmer in this longer race distance. Obviously more points on offer for the drivers, as that Ferrari of Cam goes a little bit wide, but it looks clean at the front. Clean throughout the field, I should say. Websy keeps the lead as we've got Farmer Sam and an Alpine of Riz. Farmer Sam has the inside line. Problem is, it's going to be awkward in this contact.
No, there's a huge crash.
So
Farmer Sam's out.
Yeah,
he's not out, but he's at the back now.
It's always tight side by side through there, as we're seeing nearly 3 wide between a Mercedes, an Alpine, and an RB. Thankfully, they get away with it. Cam nearly getting squeezed into the wall. So it's getting feisty. We thought it was calmer in the first sector, but it's absolutely playing up in the final sector. And Cam and Aussie further back. I quickly switch to the front. These guys are clean, but it's further back as the Alpine switches to the inside. Trying to get the move. He has a little bit of a rear lock-up. That will affect his exit out of the final corner. Websy takes the fastest lap, leading out of lap 1. Getting the great jump off pole, and we've got Farmer Sam, who's had a moment. Cam, as Farmer Sam has a spin out of the final corner. Yeah, Cam, nice move there. So definitely a lot of position changes happening early on as we just try and settle down. We'll get the tyres for everybody up now.
Yep, everyone's on mediums except for Liquid Jake, who's on softs.
Yeah, so Liquid Jake wanting to get the positions done. He's moved up 4 positions, same as Grandson Nip, so it actually has worked. Problem is you have had Farmer Sam and Riz WRC that actually did lose a position as you had an Alpine.
Ferrari and the Alpine.
Yeah, Cam actually gave the Alpine enough room. Riz strong through that part of the track, but here is where you had contact with Farmer Sam on the opening lap. So it looks like he's gotten away with without damage. Liquid Jake does have damage. Unfortunately, same as Aussie, has a little bit of damage as well. Looking just like front wing damage. We'll head back up to the front because it's very close between Jeremy and Aiden.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the back here. It's all happening. There's such a huge train, and lots of battles happening.
So Buster, a little bit disappointed. He had a great start from his great quality from these 2 drivers. K5's still up there, but Riz WIC unfortunately a little bit left as Dodge takes the lead. Aiden trying to slip down the inside at turn number 1. Problem is it always switches to the outside line, and unless he can keep his nose in there, he actually has. So coming up to the run to turn number 4, do the guys make contact? No, it looked like Aiden just backed out just a little bit. Websy ran a little bit wide and contact was avoided, but Aiden right on the back of the McLaren. So definitely punchy Aiden, and he has gotten away without any damage this time around. So we'll see what his realistic pace is in a race setting is. Obviously everybody on the medium tyres, so it's pretty much going to be a straightforward strategy for everybody. And it's just going to be the first chance for a VSC or a safety car. You'd imagine a few of these guys will come in for the hard compounded tyres. So field is very close together, except for this battle starting Liquid Jake. And Liquid Jake, you can see the right end plate missing, and that's really causing a little bit of a problem for the guys behind at the moment.
Yeah, he's boating them up. I think they're going to probably pass him though down this straight. They just need to sort of work. Oh, there's a bit of contact there, I think, with the Alpine behind the RB.
Yeah, guys, just got to be a little bit careful. Should get the momentum. The RB around the outside, the Williams and Liquid Jack's just sort of plummeting a little bit. He's on the soft compounded tyres too, so they'll be the ones that go off early. Down the inside. Oh, there's going to be front and rear contact. I think everyone's gotten away with that, but it's definitely becoming a little bit messy further back. Chilpil has made the move on Apollo, who's picked up the first 3-second time penalty of the race. That's a big lunge from the Ferrari, sorry. And that was Cam making a big lunge down the inside. That was one of the Alpines that got sort of had contact there, and unfortunately Cam has now got a little bit of side pod damage as well. So that move that he's done, it was bold, but it's hurt him a little bit now for the rest of this race. So as you can see, really struggling through there. Cam also picking up a 3-second time penalty. Plenty of moves happening further up. Tyler down the inside of Apollo as Saucy gets very close to the outside wall. So we're just opening up the gaps a little bit. But definitely a few of these guys wanting to get a bit on as the Red Bull is half sideways out of the exit of turn 16. Thankfully saves it, but that allows Saucy through into P11. So he'll try and get his way back through the field. As we'll come back up because Websy has got the move back past Dodge, but that will be changing once again. So non-stop. Oh, and that Williams locking the rears up. That spins. Just managing to pull it up. I was waiting to see that Williams doing a spin. But
yeah, I was worried he was going to go into the side of Meowsy, but Meowsy looks like he's got the move done. So I think they're going to be playing a bit of DRS chicken for the next few laps.
I will say that looked like a bit of a cut from Yusuf. He may have gotten away with that, or he may have got a warning as Aiden gets past Yusuf. So Yusuf back down into P5. We've got Liquid Jake and a whole bunch of cars just around turns 1 and 2. Liquid Jake now at the back of this train.
I'm just looking at Gransom Nips and Aussie just towards the back here. Yeah, you keep going, Scotty. There's action all over the place. I'll call something if I see it. Yep.
Yeah, you can't keep your eyes in the right spot. Aiden gets past Vince down at turn 13. So all important for Aiden. They probably is if you're in this if you're in this top pack, you cannot afford to have a battle that loses you a bunch of time. So Aiden needed to get that move cleanly. He does. Meanwhile, it's hell for leather as that looked like a Merc nearly getting sent into the wall. So these guys are just playing they've got to calm down a little bit as Cam hits the rear of the Mercedes. I mean, there's still points on offer from there, but as I said, safety car can bring tires back.
There we go. And that's that's Cam who's lost a wing, and
yeah, that was always going to happen. We're still remaining green as we got Grandson and Aussie fighting. I'm going to go back up because we got a change for the lead once again. Websy and Dodge nearly thought about a move down the inside, but wasn't close enough. So
two Saubers are fighting.
So this is now broken into 3 separate packs. And the Saubers you'd think would want to work together, but remember Sir Joshi is a reserve for tonight's race, so I'm not sure if they'd be in a party chat anyway.
Yeah, and remember Sir Josh is going to get points for Red Bull, so they're not really teammates at the moment.
Not really, but these guys have now lost 3 seconds to the lead pack as K5 thinking about a move, was getting close to Yusuf. Honestly, if you're in this top pack, KLX is probably in the best position at the moment because if anything happens in front, at least you'll have a bit of time to avoid it.
Yeah, agreed.
But the issue is, as the Alpine gets really wobbly out of the final corner, or out of the turn 16 corner, is getting close between KLX and K5. K5 wants the position. KLX does back out of it smartly.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that's the difference between that incident that happened before with Cam. I think Cam was off the racing line, it was side by side. I think that shows a little bit of maturity from KLX, just to ease off, just fight another at the next corner.
Yeah, the two Saubers are getting very close together. The Haas involved as well, Saucy. So plenty happening as Dodge retakes the lead. So Aiden's staying with them. So without that front wing damage in the sprint, he probably would have been in that lead pack as well. Finn's there as well as we got contact.
Oh, he's pushed it. He's pushed the Hassan to the wall.
And
Yeah.
Saucy,
He looks like he's okay.
we just caught that. No end plate's gone. His tyres will be a little bit cooked, so he'll have to just settle down a little bit. He's not.
How did he survive that?
Not sure, but he's not sharing his data, so I can't tell if he's got any underfloor or side pod damage. Hopefully he doesn't. But yeah, that was a little bit messy when we caught onto it late. So that sort of fed or thinned the pack in this middle battle at the moment. It's still going to be the two Salvers at the moment, P8, P9. Up front, it's still half second covering the top three, probably about 3 seconds covering the top 7. As we got lap 7 to 25, so still probably about 4 laps away from our first pit stops onto the hard compounded tyres.
Yeah, I think we've seen Apollo come in. I'm not sure if he had damage or not, but I think he's come in a bit earlier. And then we had a few guys at the back there that have come in. I think due to damage.
Aiden wants to. I thought Aiden was going to try and take the race lead at the final corner. He's going to get up the inside of Websy, and he'll actually get a bit of DRS. So, but Websy had a bit of a better line out of the final corner. So, who will lead us out of turn number 1? Aiden sticks the nose up there. He does have to cut the inside, and that could be a warning. So he's got to be careful not to do that too many times. And as I said,
I think that was pretty fair. He wasn't side, but he wasn't. He didn't have the racing line there. Then it wasn't side enough. Beside enough. So
yeah, and you got to be careful. There's no point losing a nose there, especially because we've got a long way to go. And as I said, he just got the move as Saucy picks up a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately, down in P11. But we're seeing warnings are plenty and penalties are plenty in these early stages, and we can see Sir Joshi picks up one as well. So definitely could come into play. Definitely came into play last night. But I was a benefactor from penalties in front. So
so was I. I think I got overtaken by someone, and I was like, let him through, and finished P4 on track, but got P3. So
And you can see Tyler, he's stuck at P9. He was staying with the top 2 in the sprint. So that's how important qualifying is when you do get stuck in a battle where we'd see him in that top pack. Problem is, he's just lost too much time. He's lost 5 seconds, and he has a little bit of cut over the curb as well. So, but he's in between 2 Salvers at the moment.
Yeah, and even if he gets the move done, they're probably going to get him back again. So,
That was getting close. They're going to be side by side.
Pick up the DRS though.
I'm going to switch back to the front because Aiden actually takes the lead. Websy. Oh, that got a little bit messy. I think Websy opened the steering wheel because he thought Websy was going to go into the side of him. They have sorted themselves out eventually. And they're just sorted themselves out now. So top 5. So KLX has dropped a little bit of time, unfortunately, and K5 as well. So not sure if there was a bit of a mistake from one of these two that have sort of dropped them outside DRS, but they're going to have to try and latch back on. Not if you're KLX, because you cut the corner like that, you're going to pick up a 3-second time penalty every day of the week. So he's down in P6 and he's now lost DRS, so he might try and maybe think about a bit of an undercut. But again, we can see a safety car can happen at any time with the walls being this close. We've still got all 19 drivers in the field still running at the moment, but that can easily change at a moment's notice. Aiden is your race leader at the moment in the Haas. Websy, our sprint winner by 300ths of a second over Dodge. And then you got Vince, who had a mare of a sprint race. He's actually fighting up front as we're nearly going to go 3 wide. Aiden covers the inside. As we give me a better camera angle, so Aiden's gone from first to 4th without any DRS. He will get it this time around, and who is the unlucky bastard that will not have it this time around is got to be Websy.
It's Websy.
And Websy's probably going to fall like a rock as well, because Finns will definitely want to get a move done here. No, Finns actually sits back. Thought Finns would have wanted to get it, but might have been a little bit too far back. So Dodge retakes the race lead. Websy still in P2. Finns 8. Oh, we just saw on board. A little bit of a correction needed from Aiden. Thankfully, he's kept it out of the barriers. But that got there. Could have easily been ugly for the Haas driver. And Yusuf, he's doing a good job staying with this top four. If he can get himself clear of the next battle. K5 and KLX have dropped a second compared to the top five, even with all their battling that they're doing.
Yeah, I think both Aiden and Yusuf are actually sitting in a really good position, and their battery usage is pretty good. So they're conserving and they're just sitting back. Hopefully, the guys in front will make a mistake and they can capitalise.
Yeah, battle at the back. Cam moves up into 18th place over Farmer Sam, who's been on those softs for 7 laps, so I have a feeling they will be already dead. But Cam has a moment out of the exit of turn 2. So does Farmer Sam stick the nose up the inside? No, he doesn't. Cam was very lucky. Oh, as a bit of a lock-up. Farmer Sam must have gone on the curb and very, very lucky that he didn't bend it into the wall. Meanwhile, back up the front, changed for the lead, I believe, once again. No,
Cam's
Dodge is
coming
in.
Dodge is coming in, and who else is coming in? Goat's coming in.
So they're making the undercut call. So, and they've got to be, actually, they've got some good clean air as well if they can get out of Sean A. So he'll come in.
Yeah,
So
I think they will.
These guys will actually come into some very nice clean air, and they'll need a push. You've got a Red Bull coming around the final corner now. They should be clear.
Should be good.
Dimmer
should
is
be
right.
good. I think that's nice.
Hopefully they don't do a letter P from last night and bin it out of the pit lane. Or hit the wall out of the pit lane. So thankfully they all managed to do that.
He didn't even get out of the pit lane. I think he hit the wall just before the first the exit, didn't he? I don't know what happened.
Yeah, pretty much when the limiter goes off. Was Saucy.
He lit it up too hard. Yeah.
Saucy, unfortunately, leaving the session. Hopefully we can get him back in, if you don't mind, Battle Cat.
I don't think I have him as an invite for him.
See, I might actually have him. So I'll quickly pause it. You give us a bit of a radio chat about it.
I'll see if there's anything happening. So, yeah, so those Saubers continue to fight. Like I said, they're not actually teammates, but they're right up the behind of each other. Looking at the moment as well, Finns is right up behind Websy. So I'll just give you some commentary to see if any of these drivers decide to pit. So I'll sit on with Websy. Websy is pitting.
I think they all have to.
Finns is pitting. Aiden does not pit. And Kalex is coming in as well. Websy, 10-second penalty, no.
That hurts, because then if there's a safety car later on, that pretty much forces him to come into pit lane. Because I don't think he would have got a nudge from behind, so that's the only reason you'd stay out. But that absolutely hurts, as we'll keep an eye on the...
McJamie is he's going to make it. He's going to get him.
Yeah, that's going to be it.
And the undercut's well. Yeah, undercut's good.
Problem is, he hasn't
broken. Though.
Yeah, he hasn't broken the second, so that's very important for Websy that he hasn't broken. Problem is, that 10-second penalty is pretty much screwed his race now. So the undercut worked, but we'll see how quickly those hards warm up. He just needs to stay. It just needs to stay within a second. So that's worked out well for. Actually, that's probably evened it out, because I think Websy was Dodge was first or second anyway. So it's very close between the two.
Yeah, it wasn't a huge difference. So I think they would have got back. They were playing back and forth with DRS anyway. So I was just curious to see whether or not McJamie would pull out a little bit with those warmer tyres. But Websy seems to be sitting with him pretty well.
Yep, excuse me, as we're just following the aerial shot of Websy and Jeremy.
Did you manage to get Saucy an invite?
No, his name didn't actually pop up, so I'm just seeing if he's put anything in the chat. So I haven't seen him rejoin as K5 comes into the pit. So Aiden stayed out, so he's trying to get a bit of an offset in terms of tyres.
So I've sent him one during through PlayStation. So Saucy, if you can hear me, if you're not using PlayStation, send me a friend request on.
Sorry, he lagged out, unfortunately. He's just put in the Twitch chat. So lovely game as always. This is getting close as K5 comes out just ahead of the Tyler Apollo battle. Problem is, he's going to have to warm up. He's going to have to warm up those hard compounded tyres, and He's now in a DRS battle that he probably didn't want to be in. So Tyler's made the undercut work because he's now in this little battle for K5. Aiden's got to be careful that he's not lost a ton of time off the hards, but we'll see if the offset does work. Chillpill obviously as well staying out. They're the only two drivers left to take a compulsory pit stop as we're following K5. He's warmed up his tyres enough, but he's going to have a red hot Aston Martin right behind him.
And Aiden he's coming in.
Yep. He's had a bit of an offset, but he's got to come in. Oh, as he has a bit of a lock up, but just does manage to pull it in. So Chillpill, does he come in? He does, so he'll come in off of P2. So Websy, McJermy, and Finns are your battle for the top three. You'd imagine after these pit stop cycles have fed themselves out, Jeremy takes the race lead back from Websy. Finns in P3. Aiden, you can see how much time he's lost just by the extra 2 or 3 laps. And with the hard compounded tyres, they won't fall off the cliff. It'd probably maybe be about a 5-6% wear rate difference, you'd imagine. Once he is back into the pits, hopefully it lets him take control of his car, but he's down in P17, unfortunately, at the moment, having just made a pit stop. And I reckon that potentially the AI's done that for him, as we've got Grandson and Aussie further down. So Grandson gets the position P12, and he's about 10 seconds behind Chillpill, who's actually booked for softs. He's taken those a long, long way off of 12 laps.
Yeah,
Pair of set of softs.
It's a bit too much, I think.
That's going to be a stretch, and they weren't new softs either. They were used softs. Because I'm having a look, he's already 10% on those softs. So unless he didn't want those tyres on his car, but he's going to be in a world of hurt come the end of the race, as we see this battle for P1 once again. As Websy retakes the race lead, Finn's trying to sneak down around the outside. We'll have a bit of a better line and turn in out of the final corner. Right on board with Finn's coming down the start-finish straight, lap 15 to 25. We've got 11 racing laps left to go. As Saucy has retired from the session, and that is the glitch, unfortunately.
Yeah. So his game crashed. He mentioned his game crashed as soon as he joined. So,
big moment from Farmer Sam. Does he hit the wall? No, he doesn't. He thankfully keeps it out of the wall. Went a long, long way, but a big slide. But thankfully keeps going. We'll have to get those hards to cool down a little bit.
Yeah, he's going to have to be careful as well. He's got the front runners coming behind him as well, not too far away. So he's going to start to get blue flags.
So yeah, so Saucy out. I'm really unfortunate for him. And that's sort of what happens. The game crashes, and that sort of is like it force quits the lobby, and then you just can't join. Or you join back, but it just doesn't let control of your car. And then when you leave to try and redo it, it just retires your car. So it's a stupid bloody thing that I'm hoping they fix shortly, because too many drivers, as of late, definitely tried to they just get affected by it. So
yeah, it just sucks. Like, as I see now, he's just joined, but he's not going to be able to take control of his car because his car's DNF'd.
Yeah.
So, yep, sucks.
Yeah, so really unfortunate for Saucy. So our first retirement, not really an on-track retirement. So we're down to 18, Farmer Sam at the back, saving that spin. Luckily they keep it out of the wall, but we're following Tyler.
Websy's going to, either, that's right, no, Farmer Sam's pull out of the way. That's great, Yep.
So we'll keep an eye on that battle. So Aiden, 3 laps younger tyres, gets passed by Yusuf, and Yusuf picks up a 3-second time penalty doing it. So at the moment, Aiden's still net P3 because of Websy's 10-second time penalty. So let's not forget that. We'll bring up the penalties at the moment. It is 10 seconds. So we know pretty much everyone's on the hard tyres. Oh, and
there's yellow. It's an Alpine. Is that liquid?
Yeah. No, that's
Riz.
Yeah. So unfortunately,
and
he's got a little bit of front wing damage as well on the left side end plate, as Tyler picks up a 3-second. So a lot of these pens coming in. We saw last night that pens could really play a part if there is a late safety car. As we round turn 13 for this battle P8 downwards, Sir Joshi scored a couple of points in the sprint. Liquid Jake now picking up a 3-second time penalty. So we're running out of drivers that have yet to pick up the penalty. And if you keep it clean, like Chillpool, for example, I know he's on the softs, so he's probably going to fall back and lose 3 seconds by the time he gets to the end. But looking quick at the moment.
But
yeah, Aiden
good old safety car comes in, gets everyone together, and then those penalties really come into play.
So Websy may want a safety car just due to the fact that he may be able to make a stop and still come out P5, but Dodge is going to take the lead. Finns is going to get the move done as well, so Websy first to third. That's how strong the DRS is. Yusuf gets the move back past Aiden as we've got a yellow flag somewhere as we're seeing a great side-by-side battle. And Tyler, there's contact between an Alpine and a Sauber. They sort themselves out. Thankfully, no damage from the look of it.
Oh, no, that's not good.
Oh,
he's hit the wall. They hit each other. Yeah.
That was always messy. Unfortunately, Gabe decided not to give me a great shot of it.
Yeah, I saw that. I think it was Chillpill. He tried to go on the inside and maybe didn't realise it wasn't going to happen. Got squeezed into the wall and then bounced off his teammate.
Yeah, I think it was just messy coming out of turn 2, really. So I think it was always going to happen. So that soft call now is going to be pretty bad because he'll probably burn all his tyres up trying to get back. But that's a big 6-second loss. And I know Sir Joshi's obviously scoring points for Red Bull even though he's in the Sauber. But yeah, unfortunate. Still points on offer. Remember, top 15 score points in our normal 50% race distance. So Grandson has that final points paying position as Aiden once again gets past Yusuf. So these two still holding about that 2.5 second range compared to the top 3. So at least for Aiden, if you can pay a bit of bit careful as Websy down the inside, and they got close between Dodge and Vins. Vins around the outside, and that's the thing. If these three get a 3-second time penalty, that does open the door back for Aiden. His gap now is 4.2. If these two can sort of work together, they can find themselves back up. So. They haven't really been fighting just down the straights. They haven't been side by side through corners, so that's what they need to do. 2.1 now the gap. And Websy's looking like he's got to try and make a break for it. Vins needs to get a bit of a hurry on, otherwise he'll lose DRS, and that is pretty much your race cooked. Because you feel like Websy's going to be quick without DRS, or without anybody else with DRS around him. As we right on board with the Ferrari, they both will have DRS, which is all important, so I think they'll just have saved themselves. But they can't afford to let the driver that's in first, depending on which order.
Yellow. Cam's retired. He's hit the wall. I think your favourite. Turn 3.
He's still going.
Oh, it says DNF on mine. Cam.
No, he's still going, but it looked like his car was actually moving a little bit when it said so. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I think it was P3. So it might have just. I didn't see what happened, but the notorious corner. So yeah, unfortunate there for Cam. Unlucky, mate.
Yeah, really unlucky.
Didn't bring out the safety car either, so yeah, who knows? Who knows this game?
Yeah, who knows? Not sure what happened there, but Cam unfortunately out at DNF. So we're down to 17 drivers. Farmer Sam will make that move eventually up into 17th. Meanwhile,
I don't know if Aiden had an issue there. I thought it was about 2.1 seconds. Now it's down to 2.6.
I think it's just.
So
I think it's just with with
DRS?
with DRS down the second half of the lap. He was making a lot of time in the first sector. Problem is, this is where he's going to lose it, especially with Websy carrying the other guys. But Finn has taken the race lead. While we were sort of wondering what was happening to Cam. So 7 laps left to go. So Finn's. This is the first time we've seen Finn's lead this race. But again, it is very hard to break DRS as we've seen all night long. And Websy, with the 10-second time penalty, remembering he's sort of out of this battle for the top 3. He might even lose top 5. He might even get dropped down to the top 5. if he's not careful, as Yusuf does get the move done on Aiden. So again, guys have just got to try and work together. You can see him in the background, but Websy on board. Vince goes defensive and should have the move. He does. Finn sort of lets the position go. So Finn's back down into P2. Dodge, the third car on the train now, but again, nothing separating these guys. 6 laps left to go. As Cam, unfortunately, saying in the chat he had floor damage from lap 6 onwards. So I thought he might have picked up damage from that incident that we saw earlier on, and obviously that was the case. So really struggling, unfortunately, for Cam, not having the run of form that he would have liked. He's been caught up in a few incidents, so hopefully we can see him back at the next round. Hopefully a little bit luckier. But Aussie gets past Shawnee. Sean for P13, P12, sorry. Seal Peel losing 4 seconds to the pack in front after his spin. So softs, I reckon, are already starting to cry out for him.
Yeah, probably take him to the end, I think, but he's definitely not going to be closing the gap, that's for sure.
Yeah, and he's out of penalty range as well, so he desperately needs a safety car. We've got two more laps of safety cars if they do come out. But we'll keep an eye on that. Websy from Finns from Dodge. You feel like it's going to be this three on the podium. As
go just past us, Riz. Aiden, sorry. Yeah, so just looking at the standings, Webbsy's still in front, even with a P3. Probably even with even further down the field, it'd still be P1. But McJammy and Finns, this will decide who ends up second or third. So they're both on even points at the moment.
Yeah, but you feel like that with these guys, they just want to start taking points off Websy, even though it's only going to be like 3 points, 4 points. They just need to take it off. Fastest lap at the moment does go to Finns on a 30.088, just ahead of Websy on a 30.179. So fastest lap point going to Finns at the moment.
Yeah, I think they are closing the gap a little bit, but yeah, like I said, with the point system at the moment, it's not a huge difference between P1 and P2. So that's what Websy just needs to do. Just make sure he finishes on the podium or towards the point in the end, and guys behind just finish in front of him each race and take it to the end.
Exactly right. As we are on board with the Ferrari of Dodge, I said in P3, just sitting back. As I said, Websy with the 10 second, and you feel like that won't get removed. So he'll be dropping down to at least P5 at the moment with the way penalties stand.
Is it yellow?
And it's that
I think it's just it might be a car being lapped. Yep.
Yeah, potentially Farmer Sam, I think. I don't think he was the one that caused the yellow, but we've got to get close. Farmer Sam is off track now. He's on the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, he's just letting everyone through. Yep.
Oh, this is getting a feisty battle for P7. Good points. You don't want to throw them away. As K5 will lead, Apollo goes to the inside. The Sauber goes to the outside. We're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Farmer Sam has retired in pit lane, so it will remain green. As we're going to go still side by side, 2 by 2. And it's going to be the Sauber who will have the corner. What about the Alpine and the Aston Martin? The Alpine does get out of it.
Oh, nice driving, boys. Very nice.
So Joshy, leading that pack, all 3 have penalties except for K5, who will actually jump all 3 of them. So K5 just needs to sit at the back of this pack to claim P7. KLX 2 bar out in front, penalties on screen. 3 seconds for a lot of these drivers. Oh, sorry, Apollo having a bit of a moment out of the hairpin. I think he's lost a couple of tenths. He will still get DRS if he can get the exit out of this corner. He's still a little bit wiggly. Meanwhile, back up front, you've got Websy, you got Finns, you got Dodge. And Finns, does he have the move down the inside? He doesn't, but he's going to try and defend from the Ferrari. We're going to cross the line with Websy leading. We've got 3 laps to go. Here in round 7, the Jetta sprint, here it enters. And Finns backs out of it. And Websy holds the lead. Yusuf getting back past Aiden down the start-finish straight. So Aiden's still holding people, but with the 3-second time penalty. Well, I mean, these guys have got to be careful because Hayden fights this too much, they'll both lose out of Websy's 10-second penalty, so they've got to be careful with 3 laps left. As Tyler getting the move down the inside, so Joshy now picks up another 3-second time penalty. So that will really hurt him in the battle for P7. He'll drop down to P10. At this stage, Tyler in P8, followed P9, K5 in P10. Oh, as you got the Sauber and McLaren fighting as Chilpil gets the move ahead and gets into P11. I think those soft tyres are really struggling on the Sauber. Because Shorty was a little bit further behind.
We do have yellow. Have we got Goat that's retired?
Lap 23 will remain green.
There won't be a safety car.
Yeah, will remain green. So safety car window is done and dusted.
Oh no! Oh my god! I just saw I was sitting on with Liquid Jake and I turned the corner and the car was in the middle of the track and then just disappeared. So
very lucky.
I thought he was going to T-bone the car.
So 15 cars left remaining. So every single one of them is scoring points if they finish this race. So Riz has probably had a bit of a bad weekend or bad night of racing, but you'll still come away with a point if you can finish in P15. And if a couple of other people crash out with how some of these battles are closing in. Could be close. Websy, P1. So it's pretty much the battle between Finns and Jeremy. Problem is both of them, if they stay where they are, will have DRS. So Finns can actually defend from Jeremy. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys play it out in the last 2 laps. Aiden about half a second ahead. Tyler down the inside of Sajoshi. Trying to hold that P7. Will be P8 because K5 is penalty free at the moment. K5 just needs to keep it clean. Looking at our position changes, you can see Finn's up 3, Calix up 4, Big Mover Shawnee from the back up 7. This pack here all moving up positions, K5 down 4, Farmer Sam, our biggest loser, DNF with 9 places down. Eustace down 2 from that brilliant P3 qualifying.
So who are you going to think? Who do you think's going to win this between Finns and McJammy, Scotty? We know that Webbsy might cross the line first, but he's got that 10-second penalty.
I think it might.
You want to call it?
I think it's Finns. I think it might be Finns. Apollo picks up a 3-second as well, so any chances of a battle with Tyler and Tyler is out, but he might still get ahead of Joshy.
Yeah. Oh, and Finns has just had a big snap.
And I think this is going to have to be Dodge's chance potentially to get the move. Surely, no, he decides to back out. So it's got to be ARS usage. As I said, Dodge will know. He just needs to get past the Worms in front. Problem is the Worms will have DRS. What does Webbsy do? Webbsy probably doesn't really want to play games other than to try and break Aiden and Yusuf. But even then, that gap's only about 6.5 seconds. So at the moment, Webbsy is still down in P5 the best. If you can break Yusuf, maybe P4. But it's about 3/10 covering second and third. We've got half a lap pretty much left. We round the turn 13 hairpin. So championship leader Webbsy will probably cross the line. He's actually broken out to about 8/10. So who takes P1 out of these two? Ben's had a bit of run through 14 and 15. So it's got to be Dodge. Both of these guys will have DRS. It's who saved the most for the run to the final corner and to the line. 1 sector left to go. Purple middle sector for Jeremy. So
I thought he cut the corner there.
Out of turn 24, it's still penalty free from second and third. Finns will want to try and take this as he sits behind. That was smart. That gives him DRS to the line. Final corner now. So Webbsy will take P1 on track, you'd imagine, but he will not take the win. Comes across the line. It is going to be Webbsy who crosses the line, but Finns takes the race lead. Jeremy in P2. Webbsy finishes in P5. Kazan rounds himself on the podium. Kept the 10-second gap and finishes in P3. Yusuf will finish in P4. KLX ahead of Webbsy. Tyler will cross the line first in this battle, but it's going to be K5 who kept it penalty free, jumps into the top 7. Great points for our team. Tyler in 8th. Sir Joshi will score those points for Red Bull, as we've said earlier. So Red Bull 9 and 10, with Apollo rounding out the 10 just by less than a tenth of a second. Shorty crossing the line in P11. Chilpil coming into the pits. So he'll finish in P12. He's got plenty of time behind. Liquid Jake will come around the final corner. He'll finish in 13th. Grandson Nips will finish 14th. And Riz WRC, he's had contact a few times in the sprint and the feature, but he'll still at least bring home 8 points for Alpine. Not quite the night they would have wanted. But it's the night Finn's wanted. A great comeback from Monaco. Had pace around there, just had a couple of collisions. But Finn's what a way to bounce back and scoring, I believe, maximum points too. Did he get fastest lap? We'll have a wait and see. But fantastic result from Finn's and the Women's picking up the W tonight here at Jeddah.
Yeah, it's a great race, nice and clean from the front runners there. Like I said, I couldn't call it to the end. Really unfortunate for Websy to pick up that 10-second penalty. Otherwise, he would have probably had it at the end there. But it makes the championship fight a little bit more spicier. So, yeah, see how we go once we crunch all the numbers.
Yeah, exactly right. Gilpil coming in 61% on his softs, so they were screaming. Didn't get a puncher as of yet. He didn't get a puncher at the end, but no wonder why he was really struggling at that last point. Finn's did actually get fastest lap, so maximum points 25 points for Finn's, 20 points for Dodge, and I think Websy gets 14, 13, I think, something like that. So
something like that. We'll work it out. Yeah.
Work it out. But Finn's maximum points on the day for the feature race ahead of Dodge and Aiden, keeping within the 10-second penalty of Websy in P3. Yusuf in 4th, Websy in 5th, Calix, K5, Tyler, Sir Joshi, Apollo, Sean A, Chillpill, Liquid Jake, Nips, and Riz were our top 15. And point scorers, Aussie crashing out with Farmer Sam, JLX Cam, and Saucy. Just quickly capturing the race director for everyone, because there may be a couple of penalties removal, maybe, as we got that in the end. So, fantastic race battle, Cat, and we'll be joined by hopefully our top 3 very shortly. But yeah, it was a fantastic race all around, and Finn's doing a magnificent drive there at the end to hold off Dodge, and Websy obviously didn't quite matter in the end.
Yeah, lots of battles throughout. Like I said, you know, it's not going to be Saudi without a few incidents or a few little carbon fiber hitting the wall. But yeah, surprisingly, no safety car, no VSC if I remember correctly either. So that's pretty surprising here for Saudi. So well done, guys.
That was definitely good to see no safety cars. Surprisingly, with the way Tier 2 went. So obviously that completes the round. Obviously we'll have to make up the Tier 3 feature round. Obviously a vote's gone out to the Tier 3 guys later on. So we'll obviously get that clarified for everybody later on in the week in terms of sort of what's happening there. We'll wait for our guys. We've got our second place getter in here, so we might have a bit of a chat. Battlecat, you should be very happy with your Tier 1 driver. P2, more points in the bank, and solid result, just not quite having the pace for the win.
Yeah, it was a good race from me. Good on Fins for his win, but yeah, I was lacking a lot of pace throughout that race, and have too much in Sector 1. I kept on struggling with understeer in the final corner. Probably should have gotten the win. I had a lot of VRS, but Fins did do a very good job keeping behind Websy, making sure that I couldn't get down his inside at any point, so very well managed from him. But yeah, definitely should have had a lot more pace. Had a lot more in the sprint. I was very close for getting that win in the sprint, but yeah, I didn't get DRS unfortunately. But yeah, should have gone pole, should have gone that, but oh well, we move on. Hopefully we get good points next week in Zandvoort, I believe. So yeah, overall decent drive, but should have done a bit more.
I love how he's could do a little bit more, mate. Well done. You got P2 in the sprint, and missed out by 1.029. So I know you might be kicking yourself, but I think it's 1 point difference. I wouldn't be too worried about that. And then again, P2 in the sprint, man. So I think well done. I think you've probably finished the weekend with the most amount of points. So look at that on the bright side. So yeah, well done, man, and always chipping away at Webbsy's lead. So that's what counts. Finishing races, and it's a long season. You'll get him in the end.
Yeah, hopefully.
I was just going to ask a question. Yeah, so maybe talk us through the last few laps, and it was really that fight between the top three. Did you really want to be in P3 and P2, or did you want to be sort of right behind Webbsy? What were you thinking the last few laps?
Yeah, I wanted to get past Finns as soon as possible, but I realized that knowing my pace, I knew that Finns was just going to go straight for that move as soon as possible if I did get P2 and force me to overtake Webbsy. I tried doing that on him, but he wouldn't budge, and Webbsy was smart and boxed me in with Finns, so I couldn't get past Finns when I tried. I did try and have a couple looks down the inside and outside, especially in the exit on the penultimate lap of the final corner. Finns had a bit of a moment, but I was just on the wrong part of the track and I was boxed in again. So yeah, a bit unfortunate on my placement, but yeah, I don't think I could have gotten the win, but as I said before, but I think my pace level today would have made it very hard for me to keep on to that P1 or net P1 there, with Finns being rapid.
Yep, no worries, mate. So thanks a lot. That's and yeah, moving on to Netherlands. What's your feeling on that?
I've not touched Netherlands this game, so I'm no
so
idea.
You'll win it, yeah?
I have no idea what my pace is. I do have a league race on Tuesday there, so I'm gonna use data from that to hopefully prepare myself for next week. So yeah, hopefully I can perform there. I do need to close that points gap down. It's quite large between Webbsy and I, and so it'll be definitely a rapid charge to try and close that in before the final race.
No worries, great. Well, thanks a lot, mate. Great race, and
thank you.
Have a weekend. We'll see you next week.
Yep.
So, Scotty, we've got Finn's in the chat. He's the race winner. Aiden is unable to join. So do you want to maybe ask Finn some questions?
Yeah, no, Vince, fantastic result from you tonight. Obviously, we sort of mentioned a couple of times, sort of Monaco didn't quite go your way. Jetta, obviously, another street circuit, but absolutely aced the feature race and kept within Webbsy's DRS on that last lap, and that helped you defend off Meowsy for that win in the end with Webbsy's 10-second time penalty. But fantastic race from yourself. How was it from the cockpit?
That was fun. Yeah, it was sort of just a waiting game, like it always is with these tracks, these high-speed tracks with all the DRS. It's always just waiting for the final chance, trying to get yourself in the best position. And yeah, I did an all right lap in sprint quali. Had a good start, got up to fourth, but because of the chaos at turn one, I got dropped out of DRS, and basically I was just pushing flat out to try and catch up to the group. And yeah, clipped the curb, spun, had to wait for the entire field to go past, and then one of the McLarens exploded behind me, and then yeah, I just decided it was better to save my tyres for the main race. So I knew there wasn't going to be a safety car, so I just retired the car, and then yeah, main quali was all right. So I'm never good in. I'm just not that fast in quali. I'm more of a race person. So yeah, starting P5, I knew I'd have the pace to be up the front, but yeah, I was still surprised that how fast Webbsy and Meowsy were. They were definitely faster than me, but it was just about sitting in their DRS, especially in that second stint when we broke away from Aiden and Yusuf. So yeah, it was just waiting there, saving my tyres while they had a little scrap, and then I knew I needed to be in P2, and preferably with Meowsy in P3, which is what I managed to do. And then it was all about not overtaking Webbsy, but not letting Meowsy pass. So it was quite tricky, and was having to block the inside and do a bit of moving around to make sure I held that position. And yeah, last lap, Websy put the hammer down. I nearly didn't keep up with him. He obviously had more pace in the tank, and yeah, he just held on by what 15 thousandths, but that 10-second penalty killed him and dropped him down. So yeah, pretty happy with that considering the recent races I've had with P9 at Suzuka after running out of fuel with a few laps to go, and then Monaco, which was just everything bad happened. So yeah, it's good to finally get back up the top, and I will be missing a couple of the next few races, so it's good to get some points on the board before I go and damage or lessen the damage that's going to be done when I'm away. So
Yep.
yeah,
So
it should be a good season, but yeah, it was good fun tonight, and GG to Websy and Meowsy.
yeah, so you'll miss. So
Yeah,
you
it
will.
was-
So I was just going to say, so you will miss Netherlands, or will you actually race before you? Couple of races missed.
I'm not
Not
I
100% sure yet.
probably won't be racing Netherlands and also Baku. So I'll be here for Imola, but Zandvoort and Baku are sort of 50-50, so yeah.
Not
it is
missing
what
much
it
with
is.
Baku. Not missing much with that one. I hate
Yeah.
that track.
Oh, Netherlands
I
you can probably
love
skip
that
as
track.
well.
Yeah, I'll probably join the comments box for that one. But yeah, look, Finns, it was a great race. I think, after last week, DNF, you've shown you've got some pace there. And as I said to Meowsy, closing that gap to Webbsy is what matters week on week. So as long as you finish in front of them, then, you're bringing the fight to the last few laps, last few rounds of the season. So well done.
Thank you.
Big congratulations on Finns for the feature race win. We'll say a quick word about Aiden. Fantastic result from him. P3. Unfortunately, he suffered a little bit of damage in the sprint, so no points there. But P3 kept within Webbsy's 10 seconds. Drove magnificently. He went a little bit longer on that first stint. That sort of hurt. That sort of hurt him a little bit. So, sort of had a great battle with Yusuf at the end. But we can see the provisional standings on screen after Jeddah. He moves up 4 positions up into the top 7. No, he's missed a couple of races as well, but gets his first podium of the season, does Aiden. So hopefully we can see a few more from him before the end of the season. Webbsy does lose a couple of points
Seven points.
Meowsy.
Yeah, 7 points. It's closed up. So
Yeah.
it's 55 points before. Now it's 48. So bit by bit, they'll get there.
Not too bad, but considering that is still technically 2 feature race wins though, so that's how well Webbsy's done. You finish on the podium 5 times out of 7, and the only reason he didn't finish on the podium tonight or even win the race tonight is because he had the 10-second penalty. So, as I said, could have easily been 6 from 7. But Webbsy, yeah, he's doing an unbelievable job. Meowsy holds P2 with his points scored in the sprint. And Finn's rounding our top 3 constructors wise. I believe McLaren still hold that, but Williams retake P2 in the constructors with Finn's win there. Used to scoring good points for RB, but it's still very, very close. Only 17 points covering our top 3. Webbsy maybe not capitalising, and Sean, unfortunately, just picking up that or just having that disconnect, so probably didn't put the lap in quality that they would have wanted. So a couple of points lost there, but very close up the top for Tier 1 in terms of constructors. Webbsy still holds the drivers fairly comfortably, but still plenty of rounds left to go, and we are on to Zandvoort next time out, and Battle Cat's definitely not one of my favourites, but yeah, should be good racing nonetheless around the pretty much minute 10 circuit.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick and tight sort of circuit, but yeah, it was also not one of my favourites either. And then we got Baku straight after that, so I think my run of podiums are going to stop after this round.
Yeah, you say that, but you still somehow pinch him even after last night. We thought you might have been off it just a little bit, but as I said, you just need consistency, keep it clean, and you can get it out there. So, but should look forward to that one. So next time we'll see you is on Friday night for Tier 3. Again, at the moment, it believes we will have the feature race at Jeddah, and then we'll switch over to our Zandvoort race. So it's going to be a little bit of a longer one on Friday night, but obviously we want to try and get that round in ASAP. So that will be on the 23rd in about 5 days' time. And then we'll have a bit of a break, and then we'll come back to do the Imola Sprint. So plenty of action happening on the Inter channel. So one more round before our break, and we'll see if our championship leaders can increase their leads. Ferrari looking strong in all three, and we'll see if they can increase their overalls one final time before the break. Battle Cat, thank you very much for hopping in with me. That would have been a little bit of a lonely race, but definitely plenty happening on board. So yeah, appreciate you hopping in the box tonight.
No worries, Scotty. Enjoyed that a lot. So yeah, anytime. Thanks, everyone.
Cool. And thank you everyone for watching, and we will catch you this coming Friday for the feature race at Jeddah, and then the round 8 action at Zandvoort for Tier 3. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you then.